I'm
And as
standing
you
in the
can see,
ICU at St.
the
Mary's Regional
results
watching
speak
my
for
daughter Olivia's
themselves,
chest rise and fall with
offering
the
a
ventilator.
clear path
Room
forward.
314. The
And I
machines
remember
beep
when I first
steadily, measuring
started,
each
the
precious
challenges
heartbeat.
seemed
Her
insurmountable,
wedding ring
but
catches the fluorescent
dedication and
light,
a clear
a cruel
vision
reminder
pulled
of
us through
promises
those
made
early
and
days.
broken. It's been
And it's
15
only
days since the
then
accident.
that you
15 days of this
realize
sterile
the true
purgatory,
depth
the
of the
antiseptic smell
situation.
burning my nostrils, the hushed voices of medical staff, my only company. 15 days and her husband Nathan has visited exactly twice. I know where he is, though. I know exactly where Dr. Nathan Hayes spends his evenings while his wife fights for her life. The photos are all over Instagram. Sunset champagne toasts on a $47,000 yacht with a woman who isn't my daughter. Marina Bay slip number 47. The woman's name is Amber Bennett. She wears a red bikini and Nathan's Harvard Medical School class ring on a chain around her neck. I rub my eyes, exhaustion setting in. 30 years as a family court judge taught me to recognize patterns, to see the truth beneath carefully constructed lies. And everything about Nathan's behavior since Olivia's accident follows a pattern I've seen too many times. The head nurse, Helen Miller, pulls me aside at 11:47 p.m. She's worked here for 23 years, seen everything she says. Her hand shakes slightly as she shows me the clipboard. Mr. Sullivan, there's something you need to know about your son-in-law. The DNR order, do not resuscitate, filed yesterday at 3:17 p.m., supposedly signed by Olivia before her accident. The signature doesn't match her handwriting. Too neat, too careful. And the timestamp 3:17 p.m. places Nathan at the hospital signing forms when I know for a fact he was still on the yacht. Amber's Instagram story showed them docking at 4:30 p.m. Helen's voice drops to a whisper. The attending physician never signed off on this. Hospital policy requires 2 signatures for DNR orders. This only has 1. I study the document. In 30 years on the bench, I've seen plenty of forged documents. This one wouldn't even make it past a first-year law clerk. There is more, Helen continues. The nurses talk. They've noticed Dr. Hayes making phone calls from the consultation room, calls to insurance companies asking about life insurance policies. Death benefits. The walls are thin. $2.3 million. That's what Olivia's life is worth on paper. I remember when she bought the policy 3 years ago. Nathan insisted on the amount. We need to protect our future, he said. I wonder now whose future he was protecting. Helen checks her watch. I have to go, but there's something else about your granddaughter, Emma, 6 years old, Olivia's world. The thought of her makes my throat tighten. Dr. Hayes filed papers with Child Protective Services yesterday. He's claiming you're too old to care for Emma if something happens to Olivia. Says you have early-stage dementia. The lie hits me like a physical blow. I had a routine cognitive assessment last month. Perfect scores, clean bill of health. My doctor even joked about my judge's memory. He's trying to isolate her, Helen says. Cut off everyone who cares about Olivia. It's a pattern we see sometimes. Usually right before she doesn't finish the sentence. She doesn't need to. My phone buzzes. Text message from Nathan. Richard, we need to talk. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. My office. Not Dad, not Rich. Richard. The formality is telling. I look at Helen, this woman risking her career to warn me. Thank you. She stands to leave, then turns back. Judge Sullivan, in 23 years, I've never seen a husband refuse to hold his wife's hand. Not once. That night I sit in Olivia's room long after visiting hours end. I know which entrance the night security guard doesn't monitor. Old courthouse habits. I hold her hand. It's warm. Her pulse is steady under my thumb. The brain activity monitors show complex patterns of someone fighting to return, not the flat line of someone beyond hope. I think about the yacht photos. Nathan's arm around Amber, both laughing while Olivia's brain was swelling from impact trauma. At 11:47 p.m., I make a decision that will change everything. I pull out my phone and dial a number I haven't used in 2 years. Anthony Morellis, Private Investigations. Anthony, it is Richard Sullivan. Remember that favor you owe me? 23 years ago, I presided over Anthony's divorce case. Helped him keep custody of his kids when his ex-wife tried to disappear with them. Former FBI white-collar crime specialist. Now he traces cheating spouses and financial fraud. Judge Sullivan, what do you need? I need you to investigate my son-in-law, everything. Financial records, phone records, that yacht he's been posting about. I want to know how a resident surgeon affords a $47,000 weekend. What's the timeline? I look at Olivia's face. Peaceful. Fighting. Yesterday. The phone call ends. I write a check from my retirement account. 25,000. Anthony's retainer fee. What Nathan doesn't know is that Amber's yacht photos revealed something she never intended to show. The call comes at 7:23 a.m. I'm having coffee in Olivia's room, reading her the morning news like I did when she was little. The sports section, she always loved baseball. Richard, we need to discuss Olivia's situation. Nathan's voice is cold, clinical, like he's discussing a patient, not his wife. Her situation. I keep my voice level. 30 years of family court taught me never to show emotion on the first move. Let's be realistic here. The brain scans show significant trauma. The neurologist says recovery is unlikely. I watch Olivia's chest rise and fall. Steady, strong. Which neurologist? A pause. Dr. Henley, he's the best in the state. I write down the name. Anthony will check that too. Richard, I know this is difficult, but I have to think about Emma's future, about my practice. I can't put my life on hold indefinitely. Your life, I repeat the words slowly. Yes, Olivia would want me to move on to find happiness. I think about Amber in the red bikini, about the champagne photos posted while Olivia was having emergency brain surgery. Nathan, are you familiar with California's community property laws? Another pause longer this time. I don't see why that's relevant. Well, as Olivia's husband, you're entitled to 50% of her assets, including the life insurance policy, but only if you're still married when she dies. The silence stretches. I can hear him breathing. What are you implying? I'm not implying anything. I'm stating a fact. 2.3 million is a lot of money for someone with your expenses. My expenses. The yacht rental. 47,000 for the weekend. That's what Amber posted on Instagram. Marina Bay Slip 47. Beautiful photos. I hear a sharp intake of breath. You've been watching Amber's social media, Nathan. I'm a family court judge. Retired but trained. I notice things like how someone affords a weekend yacht rental on a resident's salary, or why someone files a DNR order while they're still on the water. I don't know what you're talking about. The timestamp, Nathan, 3:17 p.m. yesterday, but Amber's Instagram story shows you didn't dock until 4:30. Basic mathematics. The mask is starting to slip. Good. Look, Richard, I understand you're upset, but Olivia is brain dead. The machines are keeping her alive, but she's not coming back. Dr. Henley confirmed it. Interesting, because I called Dr. Henley this morning. He says he's never examined Olivia, never even heard of her. Silence. You must have misunderstood. Nathan. I let his name hang in the air. I spent 30 years listening to liars in my courtroom. You're not very good at it. What do you want? There it is. The real question. I want you to stop filing false DNR orders. I want you to stop lying to insurance companies. And I want you to visit your wife, or what I smile. He can't see it, but I know he can hear it in my voice. Or I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of husband you really are. Are you threatening me? I'm informing you. There's a difference, a long pause. When he speaks again, his voice has changed. Lower, meaner. Listen carefully, old man. I'm a Harvard-trained surgeon. You're a washed-up small-town judge who can barely remember what day it is. Olivia is going down, and when she does, I'm going to remarry. Emma will have a new mother, a functioning one. The words hit like a physical slap, but my voice stays steady. Interesting choice of words. I'll remember that. And another thing, you're not welcome at this hospital anymore. I've made sure of that. Security has your photo. Try to visit Olivia again and they'll call the police. I think about Helen risking her job to warn me. About the nurses who've watched Nathan abandon his wife. Nathan, do you know what I learned in 30 years of family court? What the husband who fights hardest to keep people away from his dying wife usually has something to hide. You don't know anything. I know Amber's real name is Amber Bennett, 26 years old, works at Coastal Medical Billing, the same company that handles your hospital's insurance claims. I hear him fumble the phone. I know she's been accessing patient insurance records, including Olivia's. That's a federal crime, by the way. HIPAA violations carry serious penalties. You're bluffing. I know you've taken Amber to Le Bernard 47 times in the past 18 months. Average cost per meal, $430. That's $20,000 in restaurant bills alone on a resident's salary. My voice drops to a whisper. And I know you've been planning this for 3 years, Nathan. Since the day Olivia increased her life insurance policy, the line goes quiet. I can hear his breathing, fast, shallow. You have no proof. Not yet. I hang up. At 7:31 a.m., I call Anthony Morales. How fast can you get me financial records for Dr. Nathan Hayes, credit cards, bank statements, property records? Give me 24 hours. Make it 12. At 3:17 a.m., I'm sitting beside Olivia's bed. The ICU is quiet except for the machines. Her hand is warm in mine. I've been thinking about Nathan's words. Washed up small town judge. Can barely remember what day it is. 30 years. 30 years of protecting families. Of making sure children went to safe homes. Of stopping abusers and manipulators. And now my own daughter needs protecting. I pull out my phone. Anthony's preliminary report came in an hour ago. I read it again by the blue light of the monitors. Nathan Hayes, age 38, Harvard Medical Class of 2012, surgical resident at St. Mary's Regional, salary $58,000 annually, expenses in the past 6 months, $127,000. The math doesn't work. Yacht rentals, $47,000, jewelry purchases at Cartier, $23,000, all for Amber Bennett dinners at Le Bernard, 47 times 2,340 total. Patek Philippe watch, $18,000. I remember seeing it on his wrist, the nervous tapping when he'd visit Olivia. Where does a resident get that kind of money, I keep reading. Nathan's been accessing Olivia's financial accounts, joint accounts, yes, but also her individual investment portfolio, the one from her father's estate, her trust fund, $340,000 withdrawn in the past 4 months. Small amounts. Nothing that would trigger bank alerts, but steady, systematic theft. I think about Olivia at age 8, pigtails flying as she ran toward me after school. Daddy, guess what I learned today? Always curious, always trusting. She trusted Nathan. My phone buzzes. Text from Nathan. Change of plans. Meeting moved to tomorrow. Don't contact me again. He's scared. Good. But there's something else in Anthony's report that makes my blood freeze. Life insurance inquiry records. Nathan has been calling Mutual of California every week for the past month. Same questions every time. What documentation is required for death benefit claims? How quickly are payments processed? Can claims be expedited in cases of medical emergency? He's not just planning Olivia's death. He's timing it. I stand up, walk to the window. The parking lot is empty except for a few cars, night shift workers, people like Helen who actually care about their patients. That's when I make the decision. I'm not just going to stop Nathan. I'm going to destroy him. At 3:45 a.m., I drive to my house. Haven't been home in 4 days. The mail is piling up. Bills, advertisements, a letter from Emma's school asking about her absences. Emma, 6 years old, brown hair like Olivia's, same curious eyes. Nathan wants to take her away from me, claims I have dementia, that I'm too old to care for her. I go to my study, pull open the file cabinet. Third drawer back, left corner. The manila folder I haven't touched in 2 years. My retirement savings, $847,000. Careful investments over 30 years. My plan was to leave it all to Olivia and Emma. I write a check for $50,000. Anthony Morales gets a raise. Then I call my attorney, Janet Walsh. We've known each other for 25 years. She handled my wife's estate when she died. Bill, it's 4 in the morning. Janet, I need you to file an emergency petition. Temporary guardianship of my granddaughter. I have reason to believe she's in danger. What kind of danger? I tell her about the forged DNR, the insurance calls, the financial theft, Nathan's threats to take Emma away. My God, Bill, are you sure about this? Janet, I've spent 30 years watching bad people hurt good families. I'm not going to let it happen to mine. What do you need? Full financial investigation. Forensic accounting. I want every penny Nathan has stolen, every lie he's told, every law he's broken. That's expensive, Bill. I think about Olivia's trust fund, the money Nathan has been stealing to buy jewelry for his mistress. Money isn't the issue. At 6:00 a.m., I'm back at the hospital. I know which entrance security doesn't monitor. Old habits from my courthouse days. Olivia looks the same, peaceful, fighting. I lean close to her ear. Sweetheart, Daddy's here, and I'm going to make sure you're safe. Emma, too. Her heart rate increases slightly on the monitor just for a moment. She can hear me. At 6:15 a.m., my phone rings. Janet Walsh. Bill, I've been thinking about your case. There's something you should know about forensic accounting investigations. What They don't just find stolen money, they find everything, every hidden account, every false document, every federal crime. I smile for the first time in weeks. How soon can we start? What Amber didn't know about her yacht photos would destroy them both. Dr. Rachel Kim arrives at 8:30 a.m. sharp. Forensic accountant, 22 years with the FBI's Financial Crimes Unit before going private. Janet recommended her. Judge Sullivan, I've reviewed the preliminary materials your investigator provided. We're sitting in my study, coffee growing cold. Olivia's high school graduation photo smiles at us from the mantel. What's your assessment, Dr. Kim? Your son-in-law is either incredibly stupid or incredibly arrogant, possibly both. She opens her laptop. Spreadsheets fill the screen. Numbers I recognize from Olivia's bank statements. He's been systematic. Small withdrawals from the joint account. Nothing over $10,000 to avoid federal reporting requirements. But he made a crucial mistake. He uses hospital ID to access the transfers. Every transaction has a digital fingerprint. Timestamps addresses location data. She clicks to another screen. October 8th, 2:47 p.m. withdrew $8,500 from Olivia's trust fund. The hospital system shows he was in surgery at that exact time. Appendectomy on a 12-year-old patient. Impossible to be in two places at once. More importantly, the withdrawals correlate perfectly with his expenses. October 9th, he spent $8,200 to Cartier. Bought Amber Bennett a diamond tennis bracelet. Dr. Kim shows me the receipt. Olivia's money buying jewelry for Nathan's mistress, while Olivia lay unconscious in the ICU. How much total? $340,000 over 4 months. But that's just what I found in 3 hours of searching. My phone rings. Anthony Morales. Judge, you need to hear this. I've been monitoring Nathan's communications. That's legal. He's been calling Amber on the hospital's landline, public record, and Judge, the conversations are being automatically recorded. Hospital policy for quality assurance. I put the call on speaker. What did you find? October 15th, 9:22 p.m. Nathan to Amber. Don't worry about the old man. Olivia will be gone soon, and then we'll have everything. The words hit like ice water. There's more. October 18th, 11:47 a.m. The insurance company says they need a death certificate within 48 hours for expedited processing. I can arrange that. Dr. Kim stops typing, looks up at me. Judge Sullivan, that's conspiracy to commit insurance fraud. Federal crime, 20 years minimum. I think about Nathan's confident voice on the phone yesterday. I'm a Harvard-trained surgeon. You're a washed-up small-town judge. Anthony, what else? Hospital security footage. Nathan hasn't just been avoiding Olivia's room. He's been actively steering other doctors away, telling them she's too far gone for consultation, preventing second opinions. Medical negligence, another federal crime. And Judge, remember those Instagram photos Amber posted from the yacht? What about them GPS metadata? They weren't just partying while Olivia was dying. They were celebrating. Anthony sends me the photo files. I open them on Dr. Kim's laptop. October 15th, 4:23 p.m. Nathan and Amber on the yacht. Champagne glasses raised. Amber's caption, "To new beginnings." The timestamp shows this was posted exactly 37 minutes after Olivia's emergency brain surgery began. Dr. Kim, is this enough for criminal charges? Judge, this is enough to destroy him financially, professionally, and legally. At 10:15 a.m., I make my first move. I call Dr. Patricia Hammond, Chief of Staff at St. Mary's Regional. We served together on the hospital board 5 years ago. Patricia, I need to report a serious ethics violation. What kind of violation? Bill, a doctor accessing patient financial records without authorization, using hospital systems to commit theft, falsifying medical documents. Silence on the line. That's extremely serious, Bill. Are you certain I have documentation? Bank records, timestamps, recorded conversations. And Patricia, the doctor, is using stolen money to fund an extramarital affair, while his wife lies unconscious in your ICU. My God. Who is it, Dr. Nathan Hayes? Another silence longer. Bill, I'll need to see the evidence. Dr. Kim will deliver it within the hour. Full forensic report. But Patricia, there's something else. Nathan has been preventing other doctors from examining his wife, telling them she's beyond help, when the brain scans show clear activity. That's medical negligence, potential malpractice. It gets worse. He's been calling insurance companies asking about death benefit procedures while actively preventing treatment that could save her life. I hear Patricia typing rapidly. Bill, I'm calling an emergency medical board meeting this afternoon. Can you be there? I wouldn't miss it. At 11:30 a.m., my phone rings. Unknown number. Judge Sullivan, this is Nurse Patricia Williams, ICU night shift. Yes, I heard through Helen Miller that you're investigating Dr. Hayes. There's something you need to know. What is it? Last night, Dr. Hayes came to the ICU at 2:00 a.m. He wasn't scheduled. He went directly to your daughter's room with a syringe. My blood freezes. What happened? I stopped him, asked what medication he was administering. He got angry, said it was routine care. But Judge Sullivan, the syringe wasn't labeled. No medical order in the chart. Where is it now? I secured it. Hospital protocol for suspicious medications. It's being tested by the lab. At 12:45 p.m., Dr. Kim calls, Judge Sullivan. The lab results came back. What was in the syringe? Potassium chloride, concentrated, enough to stop a heart in minutes. Nathan had tried to murder my daughter. The nurses had been watching everything, and now they were ready to testify. I find Nathan in the hospital parking garage at 1:47 p.m., level 3 near the doctor's reserved spaces. He's walking toward his BMW medical bag in hand. Nathan, he freezes, turns around slowly. The confidence from yesterday's phone call is gone. His face is pale. Richard, what are you doing here? I thought security had your photo. They do, but you know what's interesting about security cameras? I step closer. He takes a step back. They record everything, including doctors wandering the ICU at 2 a.m. with unmarked syringes. His hand trembles as he reaches for his car keys. The same hand that tried to inject my daughter with poison. I don't know what you're talking about. Potassium chloride, Nathan. Concentrated enough to stop a heart in minutes. The keys fall from his shaking fingers. Clatter on the concrete. That was routine medication, really, because Nurse Williams couldn't find any medical order for it. No doctor's signature, no pharmacy record. I pick up his keys, hold them in my palm. You know what else is interesting? Hospital policy requires all medications to be labeled. This one wasn't. Nathan's expensive suit is wrinkled. Probably slept in it. The Patek Philippe watch he bought with Olivia's money catches the fluorescent light. How's the yacht, Nathan? He flinches like I've slapped him. Amber's photos were beautiful. The champagne toast while Olivia was in surgery. Very romantic. You've been stalking us. I've been protecting my daughter from her husband who's been stealing her money to buy jewelry for his mistress. I step closer. Nathan backs against his car. $127,000 in 4 months. That's impressive theft for someone who makes $58,000 a year. That money, that was from our joint account. Olivia's trust fund isn't a joint account, Nathan. It's individual. And you've been accessing it illegally. His face goes white. You can't prove that. I pull out my phone, show him Dr. Kim's forensic report. Timestamps, Nathan. You withdrew $8,500 on October 8th at 2:47 p.m., but hospital records show you were in surgery. Appendectomy on a 12-year-old. Unless you've learned to be in 2 places at once, that's computer fraud. Federal crime. What do you want? The same question from yesterday's phone call, but now his voice is different. Smaller. I want you to confess. To what? Attempted murder. Insurance fraud. Theft. Medical negligence. Take your pick. Nathan looks around the parking garage, empty except for us. No witnesses to his humiliation. You're insane. Am I? Because Dr. Hammond called an emergency medical board meeting for 3:00 p.m. today. They want to discuss your extracurricular activities. His hands are shaking so hard he can't hold his coffee cup steady. They can't do that without evidence. Evidence, Nathan, I have bank records showing you stole $340,000. Recorded phone calls where you discussed killing Olivia for insurance money. Hospital footage of you trying to inject her with poison. I hand him his car keys. But here's what really interests me. Amber's Instagram account has been deleted. Her apartment lease was terminated yesterday, and she called in sick to work this morning. Nathan's mouth opens, closes. No sound comes out. Funny thing about accomplices, Nathan. When things get hot, they run. Amber wouldn't. She loves me. She loves your money, Olivia's money. But now that the FBI is involved, she's probably somewhere with no extradition treaty. I turn to walk away, then pause. Oh, and Nathan Emma won't be needing a new stepmother because you won't be around to provide one. His coffee cup falls to the concrete, shatters. The news breaks at 6 p.m. Channel 7's investigative team. The lead anchor's voice is somber as she introduces the story. Tonight at 6, a prominent Bay Area surgeon accused of attempting to murder his comatose wife while stealing hundreds of thousands from her accounts to fund an affair. I'm watching from Olivia's room. The visiting restrictions mysteriously lifted after my conversation with Dr. Hammond. The reporter Susan Chen stands outside St. Mary's Regional. Professional, relentless. Dr. Nathan Hayes, a surgical resident here at St. Mary's, is under investigation for multiple felonies, including attempted murder, insurance fraud, and theft of marital assets exceeding $300,000. They show Nathan's photo, the one from the hospital website, smiling, confident. The man who promised to love my daughter in sickness and in health. Sources tell Channel 7 that Dr. Hayes was caught on security cameras attempting to inject his comatose wife with a lethal dose of potassium chloride while she recovered from a traumatic brain injury. My phone buzzes. Text message from an unknown number. Judge Sullivan, this is Amber. We need to talk. I show the text to Anthony Morales. He's been sitting with me since 4:00 p.m., waiting for Nathan's response to the media coverage. She's scared, Anthony says. Probably trying to cut a deal. Should I respond? Not yet. Let's see what Nathan does first. On screen, Susan Chen continues her report. Hospital records show Dr. Hayes visited his wife only twice in 3 weeks while spending lavishly on his girlfriend, including a $47,000 yacht rental posted on social media during his wife's emergency brain surgery. They show the Instagram photos. Nathan and Amber with champagne glasses. The timestamp October 15th, 4:23 p.m. Sarah Morrison Pierce was fighting for her life while her husband celebrated with another woman. The camera cuts to an interview. Dr. Patricia Hammond, Chief of Staff. We take these allegations extremely seriously. Dr. Hayes has been suspended pending a full investigation. Patient safety is our highest priority. My phone rings. Nathan, you did this. His voice is different, desperate, angry. Did what called the media. Destroyed my reputation, my career. I watch Olivia's peaceful face, the steady rise and fall of her chest. I didn't call anyone Nathan. But when you try to murder someone in a hospital, word tends to get out. I wasn't trying to murder her. That was medication. Potassium chloride isn't medication, Nathan. It's what they use in lethal injections. Silence on the line. The reporters are calling me, asking about the money, about Amber. Where is Amber, by the way? She's staying with friends, really. Because her landlord says she moved out yesterday, paid the lease termination fee in cash. $8,000. I hear him breathing. Fast, shallow. You're destroying my life. You destroyed your own life the moment you decided my daughter was worth more dead than alive. The news report continues. Now they're showing the hospital parking lot, the same garage where I confronted Nathan 6 hours ago. Dr. Hayes refused our request for an interview, but sources say he appeared visibly shaken when confronted with evidence of his alleged crimes. They cut to footage of Nathan leaving the hospital. Stumbling. His BMW parked crooked across 2 spaces. The FBI's white-collar crime division has opened a formal investigation. If convicted, Dr. Hayes could face up to 30 years in federal prison. Nathan's voice comes through the phone, barely a whisper. 30 years. Insurance fraud is a federal crime, Nathan. So is attempted murder. And computer fraud. And medical negligence. I need a lawyer. You need several lawyers. Different specialties. Criminal defense, medical malpractice, federal crimes. That's going to be expensive. I don't have money for lawyers. You have $127,000 worth of jewelry. Of course, you'd have to get it back from Amber first. Another silence. She's not answering her phone. Funny thing about accomplices, Nathan. When the FBI gets involved, they start thinking about cooperation agreements. The news report ends with a number for tips. If you have information about this case, please call our investigative hotline. My phone immediately starts buzzing. Unknown numbers. Reporters wanting quotes. I turn it off. At 7:30 p.m., Anthony shows me Amber's new Instagram account. Different name, abennett.travels. Posted from LAX airport 2 hours ago. Flight to Vancouver, Anthony says. Then probably somewhere without extradition treaties. I look at the photo, Amber in first class, champagne glass raised. The same pose from the yacht, but this time she's alone. The caption, new chapter. Nathan's partner in crime had abandoned ship. His life was unraveling exactly as planned. The forensic accountant's final report arrives at 900 a.m., 147 pages. Every transaction, every lie, every crime. Dr. Kim sits across from me in Janet Walsh's conference room. 3 boxes of evidence on the table between us. Judge Sullivan, in 22 years of financial investigations, I've rarely seen fraud this systematic. She opens the first box. Bank statements, credit card records, hospital access logs. Nathan Hayes didn't just steal money. He created an entire false identity to cover his tracks. What do you mean he opened accounts under variations of his name? B. Pierce Brandon, P. Pierce, Dr. B. Pierce, each one linked to different aspects of the theft. She shows me the paper trail. Olivia's trust fund money flowing through multiple accounts before ending up in Nathan's hands. October 3rd, $12,000 withdrawn from Olivia's trust. October 4th, $12,000 deposited into the B. Pierce account. October 5th, $11,800 spent at Tiffany & Company. A diamond necklace for Amber paid for with Olivia's inheritance from her grandfather. The sophistication suggests this wasn't impulsive. He's been planning this for years. Dr. Kim opens the second box. Insurance documents. Life insurance policy taken out 18 months ago. $2.3 million. But here's what's interesting. The medical exam required for such a large policy. She hands me the file. The examining physician was Dr. Marcus Webb, retired cardiologist, lives in Phoenix now. I called him yesterday. He has no record of examining Olivia Hayes. Never heard of her. Another forged document. But the insurance company has the exam results on file. Perfect health, no risk factors, signed by Dr. Webb. I study the signature. Different handwriting than Nathan's usual style, but similar to the forged DNR order. He's been practicing forgery. Gets better. The insurance policy has a double indemnity clause. Accidental death pays $4.6 million. Olivia's car accident, the one that put her in the ICU. Dr. Kim was Olivia's accident, really an accident. She opens the third box. Police reports accident reconstruction photos. I requested the traffic incident report. Olivia's brakes failed completely. No mechanical problems with the gear, but the brake line showed signs of tampering. The photos show Olivia's Honda Civic wrapped around a tree. The brake line cut clean through. Someone sabotaged her car. The police didn't investigate further because it appeared to be mechanical failure. But a forensic mechanic I hired says the cut was made with surgical tools. Nathan had tried to kill Olivia twice. First the car, then the poison. My phone rings. Anthony Morales. Judge, I've been monitoring Nathan's communications. He just made a very interesting phone call. To whom? His malpractice insurance company, asking about coverage for criminal defense. Even now, Nathan was thinking about protecting himself. There's more. I traced his recent financial activity. He's been liquidating assets. Sold his car yesterday. Withdrew his entire 401k. Cleaned out the joint checking account. He's running. Looks like it. But Judge, there's something else. Remember that syringe from the hospital? The one with potassium chloride. What about it? Lab found fingerprints. Nathan's, but also trace amounts of insulin. Dr. Kim looks up from the evidence files. Insulin mixed with potassium chloride would mask the cause of death. Look like diabetic shock instead of poisoning. How long would Olivia have survived? Minutes, maybe less. I think about Nurse Williams stopping Nathan in the ICU. If she hadn't intervened. Dr. Kim, what's our total evidence count? She consults her laptop. Financial crimes, 47 separate incidents of theft totaling $340,000. Insurance fraud, 8 forged documents. Attempted murder, 2 documented attempts. Medical negligence, 15 instances of patient abandonment. She closes the laptop. Judge Sullivan, this case is bulletproof. Even if half the evidence were thrown out, there's enough to convict on multiple felonies. At 11:30 a.m., FBI Special Agent Maria Rodriguez calls. Judge Sullivan, we've issued federal warrants for Nathan Hayes and Amber Bennett. Bank fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy to commit murder. Have you found them? Amber Bennett was arrested at Vancouver International Airport attempting to board a flight to Dubai. She's being extradited, and Nathan's still at large. But Judge Sullivan, we found something in Amber's luggage that might interest you. What a laptop computer with detailed records of the insurance fraud scheme. Email conversations planning your daughter's accident. And Judge Sullivan, yes, time-stamped photographs of them celebrating what they called the successful accident the night Olivia was injured. They had documented their own crimes. The courtroom is packed, standing room only. I haven't seen this much public interest since the Peterson murder trial in 2018. Department 12, Riverside County, Family Court. The same courtroom where I presided for 15 years. Now I'm sitting at the petitioner's table, fighting for my granddaughter's future. Judge Rebecca Martinez presides. Sharp, fair. I trained her when she was a junior prosecutor. Nathan sits across the aisle with his attorney, Marcus Clean. Expensive suit, but Clean looks nervous. He's been handed an impossible case. The gallery buzzes with whispers. Hospital staff reporters, FBI agents in the back row. Emma sits beside me. 6 years old, brown hair and pigtails, just like Olivia at her age. Is Mommy going to be okay, Grandpa? Yes, sweetheart. Mommy's going to be fine. Judge Martinez calls the session to order. This is an emergency custody hearing in the matter of Hayes versus Sullivan. Petitioner seeks temporary guardianship of minor child Emma Hayes. Cleaning stands first. Your Honor, Nathan Hayes is the child's natural father and primary custodian. Mr. Sullivan's petition is based on unsubstantiated allegations. Objection. Janet Walsh rises. The allegations are substantiated by federal criminal charges. Your Honor. Sustained. Mr. Clean, please stick to custody issues for now. Clean shuffles his papers. He knows he's fighting a losing battle. Your Honor, Dr. Hayes is a respected surgeon with no prior criminal history. Mr. Sullivan is 62 years old and lacks the energy to care for a young child. Judge Martinez looks at me. Slight smile. Mr. Clean, are you familiar with Judge Sullivan's professional record? Yes, Your Honor. 30 years on the same bench, presided over thousands of family cases, never reversed on appeal. I think his qualifications speak for themselves. Janet stands. Your Honor, we'd like to call our first witness, Nurse Helen Miller. Helen walks to the witness stand. 23 years of service badge gleaming on her uniform. She's risked her career to be here. Nurse Miller, did you witness Dr. Hayes attempting to administer medication to his wife without proper authorization? October 20th, 17 a.m. He came to the ICU with an unmarked syringe. When I asked for the medical order, he became hostile. What was in the syringe? Potassium chloride. Concentrated enough to cause cardiac arrest. Gasps from the gallery. Nathan stares at the table. In your professional opinion, would this medication have killed Olivia Hayes? Without question, Janet continues. How many times did Dr. Hayes visit his wife during her 3-week hospitalization? Twice. Both visits lasted less than 10 minutes. Did he ever hold her hand? Show physical affection? Never. In 23 years, I've never seen a husband refuse to touch his dying wife. Clean tries cross-examination, but there's nothing to attack. Helen's testimony is devastating. Janet calls Anthony Morales next. Mr. Morales, what did your investigation reveal about Dr. Hayes' financial activities? $340,000 stolen from his wife's accounts over 4 months. Used to fund an extramarital affair while she was hospitalized. Anthony displays the evidence. Bank records projected on the courtroom screen. October 15th, $8,500 withdrawn from Olivia's trust fund. Same day, $8,200 spent at Cartier for jewelry given to Amber Bennett. The numbers tell the story. Every theft, every betrayal. Did Dr. Hayes attempt to access life insurance benefits? Yes. Multiple calls to insurance companies asking about death benefit procedures while simultaneously preventing medical treatment that could save his wife's life. Judge Martinez takes notes. Her expression grows darker with each revelation. Janet calls Dr. Kim to the stand. Dr. Kim, in your expert opinion, was this theft random or systematic? Highly systematic. Dr. Hayes created false identities, forged documents, and manipulated hospital computer systems. This required months of planning. What was his apparent objective? To kill his wife and collect $4.6 million in insurance money while maintaining plausible deniability. The courtroom erupts. Judge Martinez gables for order. Clean stands for cross-examination, but his heart isn't in it. Kim, isn't it possible these were legitimate medical decisions complicated by emotional stress? Number potassium chloride is not a legitimate medication for brain injury patients. It's used for a lethal injection. Clean sits down. No further questions. Janet calls her final witness. Your Honor, we call Special Agent Maria Rodriguez, FBI Financial Crimes Division. The federal agent takes the stand. Badge visible. Authority unquestioned. Agent Rodriguez. What federal crimes is Dr. Hayes charged with? Wire fraud, bank fraud, conspiracy to commit murder, and insurance fraud. Total potential sentence, life in prison. Has his accomplice been apprehended? Amber Bennett was arrested attempting to flee the country. She's cooperating with our investigation. What did Ms. Bennett reveal? Detailed records of the murder plot, including photographs celebrating what they called the successful accident the night Mrs. Hayes was injured. Nathan's head snaps up. First emotion he's shown all day. Agent Rodriguez, was Mrs. Hayes' car accident really an accident? Number, forensic analysis shows her brake lines were deliberately severed using surgical instruments. The gallery explodes. Reporters frantically taking notes. Nathan slumps in his chair. Judge Martinez calls for order again. Mr. Clean, does your client wish to testify? Clean whispers urgently with Nathan. Nathan shakes his head. No, Your Honor. Defense rests. Janet stands for closing arguments. Your Honor, Nathan Hayes is a monster. He tried to murder his wife twice. He stole her money to buy jewelry for his mistress. He abandoned his child to party on yachts while his wife fought for her life. She points to Emma. This little girl deserves better. She deserves a guardian who will protect her, not exploit her. Clean's closing is brief, half-hearted. Your Honor, despite these serious allegations, Dr. Hayes remains Emma's father. Biology matters. Judge Martinez doesn't even pause to deliberate. I've heard enough. Emergency guardianship is granted to Richard Sullivan, effective immediately. She looks directly at Nathan. Dr. Hayes, your parental rights are suspended pending resolution of criminal charges. You will have no unsupervised contact with the minor child. Nathan's expensive watch catches the light as he covers his face. Not the Patek Philippe anymore. That was sold to pay legal fees. Furthermore, all marital assets are frozen pending forensic accounting. Mr. Sullivan is appointed conservator of Olivia Hayes' estate. The gavel comes down. Emma tugs on my sleeve. Grandpa, does this mean I get to live with you? Yes, sweetheart. For as long as you want. In the hallway, reporters swarm. Cameras flash, microphones thrust forward. Judge Sullivan, how do you feel about your victory? I think about Olivia still fighting in her hospital bed. About Emma finally safe from her father's greed. This isn't about victory. It's about protecting family. What's next for Dr. Hayes? That's up to the federal prosecutors. As we walk to the car, I see Nathan in handcuffs. FBI agents leading him away. He looks at me one last time. The arrogance is gone. Only fear remains. 30 years of family court taught me one thing. Documentation wins. 2 weeks later, Nathan's criminal trial begins. The courtroom is even more packed than the custody hearing. National media now. The story has captured public imagination. The Harvard surgeon who tried to murder his wife for insurance money. I sit in the front row behind the prosecutor's table. District Attorney Michael Ramirez is handling the case personally. 28 years experience, 83% conviction rate. We worked together often when I was on the bench. Nathan sits at the defense table. Orange jumpsuit. No bail granted. Flight risk, the judge said. His expensive private attorney is gone, replaced by a public defender. All that money spent on Amber, and now he can't afford his own lawyer. Ironic. The trial moves quickly. The evidence is overwhelming. Dr. Kim testifies about the financial crimes. The hospital nurses testify about the potassium chloride. Police officers testify about the brake lines cut with surgical precision. But the most damaging testimony comes from Amber Bennett, granted partial immunity in exchange for cooperation. She walks into the courtroom in handcuffs. No makeup. Prison jumpsuit. Nothing like the glamorous woman from the yacht photos. Ms. Bennett, Nathan looks at her. She doesn't look back. Ms. Bennett, did you have a relationship with the defendant? Yes. We began dating 18 months ago. He told me his wife was emotionally abusive and they were separated. When did you learn the truth? 6 months ago. He admitted he was still living with his wife. Said he couldn't divorce her because she had money he needed. Did he discuss his financial situation with you? He said he was underpaid at the hospital, that his wife had a trust fund but wouldn't share it, that he deserved it for putting up with her. Did the defendant ever discuss harming his wife? The courtroom goes silent. Nathan stares at the table. Yes. 3 months ago, he talked about how convenient it would be if she had an accident. Said the insurance would pay double for accidental death. He started researching ways to cause car accidents that look like mechanical failure. Did you assist him? I accessed her insurance records through my job. Sent him copies of her policy. I didn't think he would actually do it. I thought it was just talk. But he did do it, didn't he? Yes. What happened the day of Olivia Hayes' accident? Nathan called me at work. Said, it's done. Told me to meet him at the marina. We took the yacht out. He was celebrating. Kept saying we were finally going to have everything we deserved. Amber starts to cry. I didn't know he was going to hurt her. I didn't know. The jury doesn't believe her. The photos tell a different story. The champagne toast. The caption, to new beginnings. The timing 37 minutes after Olivia went into emergency surgery. It takes the jury 4 hours to reach a verdict. Guilty on all counts. The judge sentences Nathan to 25 years to life. No possibility of parole. Amber gets 8 years eligible for parole in 4. The civil lawsuit recovers everything. Olivia's trust fund, the stolen assets, punitive damages totaling $1.2 million. Nathan's medical license is permanently revoked. His yacht seized by the FBI, auctioned to pay restitution. Justice cold and complete. But justice isn't healing. 3 months after the accident, Olivia still hasn't woken up. I spend every day at her bedside, reading to her, talking to her, telling her about Emma's school projects, about the changing seasons, about everything except the trial. That can wait until she's stronger. Emma visits after school, draws pictures for her mother, talks about her day, normal things. Children are resilient, but I watch for signs of trauma. The nightmares have stopped. The fear when the phone rings. Small victories. Dr. Hammond visits often, reviews Olivia's charts personally now. The brain activity is encouraging, Richard. More complex patterns every week. She's fighting. How long? There's no timeline for this kind of injury. Could be tomorrow, could be months. But I believe she'll come back to us. I have to believe it too. The alternative is unthinkable. At home, I've transformed my study into Emma's bedroom. Pink walls, butterfly stickers, stuffed animals everywhere. Janet helped me file for permanent guardianship. No contest now that Nathan's been convicted. I'm learning to be a parent again at 62. School lunches, homework, bedtime stories. It's exhausting and wonderful. Emma helps me remember that borrowing in small things. Ice cream on Saturdays, feeding ducks in the park, finding shapes in clouds. She asks about her father sometimes. I tell her the truth in simple terms. Daddy did something very wrong. He has to stay in a place for people who break the law. She doesn't ask for details. Not yet. One night as I'm tucking her in, she asked the question I've been dreading. Grandpa, is Mommy going to die? No, sweetheart. Mommy's brain got hurt, and it's taking a long time to heal. But she's very strong, just like you. Like Wonder Woman, even stronger than Wonder Woman. She considers this, nods. Satisfied. Can I tell you a secret, Grandpa? Of course. Sometimes when I hold Mommy's hand and talk to her, I feel her fingers move, just a little bit. The nurses say it's just a reflex, but I think she's trying to talk to me. I freeze. Involuntary movement is common in coma patients. But what if... That's wonderful, Emma. Keep talking to her. She can hear you. I kiss her goodnight, then go to my bedroom and call Dr. Hammond. Patricia, I need you to run some additional tests on Olivia tomorrow. What kind of tests? Response to stimuli, particularly to Emma's voice. The next day we set up the equipment. EEG monitors heart rate, blood pressure. Emma sits beside Olivia's bed, holding her hand. Hi, Mommy. I got an A on my spelling test today. We had to spell beautiful and Tuesday and elephant. Nothing on the monitors. Then I drew a picture of us at the beach. Remember when we built that huge sandcastle and the wave knocked it down? And you said we'd build a bigger one next time, a slight spike in brain activity. Dr. Hammond adjusts a dial, watching intently. Keep talking, Emma. And then Jimmy Peterson said girls can't play basketball, but I scored 2 baskets at recess and he couldn't score any. You always said I could do anything boys can do, only better. Definite response now. Heart rate increasing. Brain activity spiking in the language processing centers. Olivia can hear her. She's responding. For the next week, we establish a routine. Emma reads to Olivia for 30 minutes every day after school. Dr. Hammond monitors the brain activity, documenting every response, building a case for increased treatment. The insurance company has been reluctant to approve experimental therapies, citing limited chance of recovery. But data changes minds. Numbers. Documentation. The things Nathan thought he could manipulate are now working in Olivia's favor. Dr. Hammond presents the case to the hospital board, shows them the response patterns, argues for aggressive intervention. This is not a vegetative state. This is a brain actively fighting to reconnect. We have documented responses to familiar stimuli, particularly her daughter's voice. I'm recommending immediate approval for the neural regeneration protocol. The board votes unanimously to approve. Insurance be damned. They'll treat now and fight the bureaucracy later. The treatment begins immediately. Stem cell therapy, neural stimulation, advanced medications just approved by the FDA. Cutting-edge science meeting a father's determination and a daughter's love. 2 months of treatment, 2 months of hope. 2 months of Emma reading stories, singing songs, sharing her day with a mother who can't respond but can somehow hear. And then on a Tuesday afternoon in April, it happens. I'm sitting beside Olivia's bed reading the newspaper aloud. Sports section, baseball, her favorite. The Giants are looking strong this season. New pitcher showing real promise in spring training. Her eyelids flutter. I stop reading, hold my breath. The monitors show increased activity, but I've seen false alarms before. I don't dare hope. Then her eyes open, blue like Emma's, confused at first, then gradually focusing on me. Dad, her voice is a rasp, barely audible after months of disuse, but it's the most beautiful sound I've ever heard. I'm here, sweetheart. Where? She looks around, recognizing the hospital room. How long? 4 months. Emma. She's fine. She's with me. Safe. Olivia struggles to form words, her brain relearning pathways, connections reforming. Nathan. I hesitate. This isn't the time for that conversation. Not when she's just returned to us. You need to rest. We can talk about everything later. She shakes her head slightly, determination in her eyes, even now stubborn like her mother. I remember Dad, the car, the brakes. They just stopped working. And Nathan, he was angry about something. Money. I take her hand, so fragile, but getting stronger. It's all been taken care of, sweetheart. He can't hurt you anymore. She closes her eyes, fatigue overwhelming her. But before she drifts off, she squeezes my hand. A message. Gratitude. Trust. Love. I call Dr. Hammond, then Emma's school. When Emma arrives an hour later, Olivia is awake again. Weak but present. The reunion is everything I imagined. Tears. Hugs. Emma climbing carefully onto the bed, mindful of the tubes and wires nestling against her mother's side. Talking a mile a minute about everything Olivia has missed. I step into the hallway to give them privacy. To compose myself. Dr. Hammond finds me there reviewing Olivia's latest readings. This is remarkable, Richard. The neural regeneration is proceeding faster than we anticipated. She's mapping new pathways, bypassing the damaged areas. With intensive therapy, she could make a full recovery. How soon can she come home? A few more weeks of inpatient care, then outpatient therapy. But Richard, there's something else you should know. What is it? We found trace amounts of sedatives in her system, not prescribed by any doctor here. They've been there for months, gradually breaking down. Another piece of Nathan's puzzle falls into place. He was drugging her, making her seem unstable, building a case for his claims that she was emotionally troubled. Exactly. And Richard, if he hadn't miscalculated with the brake lines, if he'd continued the slow poisoning, we might never have known until it was too late. A chill runs through me. Nathan's arrogance had been his downfall. His impatience for the insurance money drove him to take risks, to leave evidence, to make mistakes. But what if he'd been more careful? What if he'd simply continued drugging Olivia, making her appear unstable, building a case for institutionalization? How many families had been destroyed by such calculated cruelty with no retired judge to spot the pattern, no resources to fight back? Olivia improves daily, memory returning, strength building, therapy working. 3 weeks after waking, she's discharged to outpatient care, coming home for the first time in 7 months. My house has changed. Emma's toys in the living room. Get well cards covering the refrigerator. A hospital bed in the den, though. Olivia insists she can manage the stairs to her old bedroom. The three of us settle into a routine. Olivia's therapy 3 times a week. Emma's school. My retirement officially unretired as I balance caregiving with managing Olivia's recovered assets. We don't talk about Nathan. Not yet. Olivia isn't ready and Emma doesn't ask. But I know the conversations are coming. The healing is physical now, but the emotional wounds run deeper. One evening after Emma is in bed, Olivia joins me on the porch. Tring air stars emerging, like so many evenings from her childhood. She's using a cane now, but insists on walking unassisted otherwise. You should have told me, Dad. About what? That you didn't trust Nathan, that you saw something wrong. I did, sweetheart. 3 years ago, you said I was being overprotective, that I didn't trust your judgment. She looks away, remembering. I was so stupid, so blind. No, you were in love. You wanted to believe the best in him. That's not stupidity, it's humanity. I was pulling away from him these last few months. Did you know that I'd found some discrepancies in our accounts? Started asking questions. He told me I was being paranoid, that my family history of mental illness was emerging. I didn't know that. I even talked to a divorce lawyer, secretly. 2 weeks before the accident, I was going to leave him, Dad. The pieces click into place. Nathan's urgency, the accelerated timeline. He knew Olivia was on to him, knew his carefully constructed life was unraveling. So he moved up his plan, tried to kill her before she could expose him. I should have seen it coming, Olivia. Should have protected you. She takes my hand, her grip stronger now, determined. You did protect me, Dad. You and Emma. You brought me back, and you made sure Nathan can never hurt anyone else. That night, I sleep soundly for the first time in months. The weight lifting, the future brightening. My family's safe under one roof. In the morning, Dr. Hammond calls with the final test results. Clean bill of health apart from the ongoing physical therapy. No permanent brain damage. No lasting effects from the drugs Nathan had been secretly administering. A medical miracle, she calls it. But I know better. It wasn't a miracle. It was determination, documentation, evidence, justice. The tools of my profession employed in defense of my family. 2 days later, Emma brings home a school assignment, My Hero, a one-page essay about someone she admires. She hands it to Olivia and me to read together. My hero is my grandpa. He used to be a judge, and now he takes care of me and my mom. When bad things happened, he didn't give up. He found all the clues like a detective and made sure the truth came out. He says that's what justice means, making sure the truth doesn't stay hidden. My grandpa taught me that being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you do the right thing even when you are scared. And that's what makes him my hero. Olivia wipes away tears, hugs her daughter, hugs me. 3 generations, broken by betrayal but not destroyed. Healing, together. That evening as the sun sets over the bay, I think about how close we came to a different ending. How Nathan's arrogance and greed nearly destroyed my family. How thin the line between justice and tragedy. I think about the other families out there, the ones without resources, without training, without someone to recognize the patterns of abuse and exploitation. And I make a decision. The next morning, I call Janet Walsh. Janet, I want to establish a foundation. Legal aid for families in crisis, specialized support for suspected cases of financial exploitation and medical abuse, using your settlement money. Every penny of the punitive damages. $1.2 million to start. I'll raise more. What will you call it? The Olivia Hayes Foundation for Family Justice. Perfect. I'll draw up the paperwork. 1 week later, I'm back in the courtroom. Department 12, Riverside County, Family Court. Not as a judge this time, but as a witness. Testifying in another case. Another family fighting to protect their mother from a predatory caregiver. I see the familiar patterns. The isolation. The financial manipulation. The forged documents. I present the evidence clearly, methodically. Connect the dots for the judge, for the jury, for the family whose world is hanging in the balance. When I finish, the defense attorney has no questions. The evidence is too solid. The parallels to Nathan's case too clear. The jury deliberates for less than an hour. Justice prevails. As I leave the courthouse, a reporter catches up to me. Local paper, young eager. Judge Sullivan, can I ask why you're doing this? Coming out of retirement to testify in these cases, I think about Olivia. Home with Emma, planning their first trip to the beach since the accident. Building sandcastles. Making new memories to replace the painful ones. I think about the thousands of cases I presided over. The patterns I recognized. The families I helped. And the ones I couldn't. Some people think vulnerability equals weakness. They forget that protecting family is the strongest force in the world. The reporter nods, writes it down. One last question. What would you say to families who might be experiencing what your daughter went through? Who might not recognize the signs? Trust your instincts. Document everything. And remember that the most dangerous predators are the ones closest to home. I walk to my car thinking about the foundation, the cases lining up, the work still to be done. My phone buzzes. Text message from Olivia. Emma and I are making your favorite dinner. Don't be late. Love you, Dad. I smile. Drive home to my family, to the life we're rebuilding, together. 6 months after Olivia woke from her coma, our lives have found a new rhythm. Not perfect, but stable. Healing. Olivia's physical therapy continues 3 times a week. Her gait is stronger now, the cane relegated to a corner of the hall closet. Just for emergencies, she says, though I've noticed her hand sometimes brushes the doorframe for support when she thinks no one is watching. Emma thrives in first grade, her teacher marveling at her resilience. Children adapt, the school counselor told us. They follow the emotional lead of the adults around them. We've been careful to create stability, predictability. The trauma specialist says Emma is processing everything in her own time, in her own way. The Olivia Hayes Foundation for Family Justice has taken shape faster than I anticipated. Janet's legal expertise combined with my courthouse connections created something remarkable. In 6 months, we've helped 15 families, provided resources, legal representation, forensic accounting, safe housing. The things I wish someone had done for Olivia before Nathan shattered her life. Today marks a milestone. Olivia's final neurological assessment at St. Mary's. We've been waiting for this appointment for weeks, the last hurdle before Dr. Hammond declares her fully recovered. The possibility of returning to normal, or at least finding a new normal, hangs in the air between us as we drive to the hospital. Nervous? I ask, glancing at Olivia in the passenger seat. A little. What if there's something they missed? Some damage that hasn't shown up yet? Then we'll deal with it together, one step at a time. The hospital parking garage still makes my stomach clench. Level 3, where I confronted Nathan that day. Where the facial of the brilliant Harvard surgeon crumbled to reveal the monster beneath. I park on level 1 now, always. Dr. Hammond greets us with a warm smile, no trace of the clinical distance most physicians maintain. She's become family through this ordeal. Olivia, Richard, good to see you both. How's our miracle patient today? Ready to be officially declared boring and healthy, Olivia says. The examination is thorough. Cognitive tests, memory recall, motor skills, language processing. I watch from the corner as Olivia works through each challenge with determination. The same stubborn focus she showed as a child learning to ride a bicycle. Falling, getting up, trying again until she mastered it. Finally, Dr. Hammond puts away her equipment and sits across from us, clipboard in hand. Well, I have to say, Olivia, your recovery has exceeded even my most optimistic projections. Your brain has demonstrated remarkable neuroplasticity. New neural pathways have formed to bypass the damaged areas. Cognitively, you're testing at pre-injury levels. I exhale a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. So she's fully recovered, I ask. Medically speaking, yes, there may still be occasional headaches, some fatigue after cognitive exertion, but those symptoms should continue to diminish over time. She turns to Olivia. You've done the hard work. I'm officially declaring you a boring, healthy neurological patient. Olivia laughs, tears in her eyes. Thank you, Patricia, for everything. Dr. Hammond's expression softens. I should be thanking you. Your case is being written up for several medical journals. The neural regeneration protocol we used has been approved for wider application because of your success. You're going to help a lot of people, Olivia. As we leave the hospital, Olivia pauses in the lobby, looking around at the familiar surroundings. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm going to miss this place a little. Really. It's where I came back to life, where Emma and I reconnected, where I learned that I was stronger than I ever imagined. She takes my arm. Let's go home, Dad. I want to celebrate with Emma. At home, Emma launches herself into her mother's arms the moment we walk through the door. What did the doctor say? Are you all better now? All better, sweet Ard, official medical seal of approval. Emma's face lights up. Does this mean we can go camping now? You promised when you got better we could go camping and see the stars. Olivia laughs. I did promise that, didn't I? Well, I always keep my promises. Let's start planning. That evening, after Emma is asleep, Olivia joins me on the back porch, the same spot where we've had so many conversations throughout her recovery, where she first told me about finding discrepancies in the accounts about Nathan's gaslighting, about her secret consultation with a divorce lawyer just before the accident. I got a call today, she says, settling into her chair, from Amber Bennett's attorney. My pulse quickens. What did he want? She's up for parole next month, early release for good behavior and cooperation. Olivia's voice is steady, her face composed. How do you feel about that? Honestly, I don't feel much of anything about Amber anymore. She was a pawn in Nathan's game. A willing pawn, but a pawn nonetheless. She looks out at the darkening sky. Her attorney says she wants to meet with me, to apologize in person. And I'm considering it, not for her sake, but for mine. She turns to me. What do you think, Dad? I think you're strong enough to handle whatever you decide. If hearing her apology would help you heal, then do it. If not, you owe her nothing. Olivia nods. There's something else. I've been thinking about what I want to do next. With my life. Before the accident, Olivia worked as a pediatric speech pathologist, helping children find their voices. The irony of her being silenced by Nathan's abuse isn't lost on me. I want to go back to school, get a degree in law. I blink in surprise. Law, specifically family law. She smiles at my expression. Don't look so shocked. I grew up watching you protect families, and now I've experienced firsthand what happens when the legal system works the way it should, when evidence is gathered meticulously, when justice is served. She leans forward. I want to be part of that. I want to work with the foundation, help other survivors find their voice. Pride swells in my chest. My daughter, who nearly died at the hands of her husband, now planning to dedicate her life to protecting others. You'll be brilliant, I tell her. Harvard won't know what hit them. She laughs. I was thinking Berkeley, actually. Close to home. To Emma. To you. 2 weeks later, I'm at the foundation office downtown reviewing a new case with our staff. A woman in her 50s showing signs of unexplained cognitive decline. Her son suspects her new husband is poisoning her slowly. The patterns are familiar. Isolation from family, sudden changes to financial documents. Symptoms that appear when the husband is present diminish when he's away. Janet knocks on my office door, her expression grave. Richard, there's something you need to see. She places a manila envelope on my desk. Inside, a letter from San Quentin State Prison. Nathan's handwriting, addressed to Olivia. This arrived at your home this morning. The mail carrier gave it to Emma. My blood runs cold. Emma, is she? She's fine. She was at a play date. Olivia got it from her before she opened it. She called me immediately. I examined the envelope. It passed prison screening. No contraband, just words. Sometimes words are the most dangerous weapons of all. Does Olivia want me to read it? She asked me to bring it to you. Said you'd know what to do. I placed the letter in my drawer unopened. Tell her I'll be home early. We'll decide together. That night, after Emma is asleep, Olivia and I sit at the kitchen table, the unopened letter between us. You don't have to read it, I tell her. We can burn it, send it back, whatever you want. She stares at the envelope, Nathan's precise handwriting, a reminder of his surgical precision. The same hands that cut her brake lines, that filled a syringe with potassium chloride. I want to know what he has to say. I slide the letter toward her. She takes a deep breath, opens it carefully, as if it might contain something dangerous. Perhaps it does. Dear Olivia, she reads aloud, I hope this letter finds you well. I've thought a lot about what happened between us, about the choices I made. I want you to know that I'm sorry for the pain I caused you and Emma. She pauses, her expression skeptical. 3 years of marriage, 2 murder attempts, and he thinks sorry covers it. She continues reading. I've changed in here. Found purpose. I'm working with the prison ministry, helping other inmates find redemption. I hope someday you'll find it in your heart to forgive me. Not for my sake, but for yours. Forgiveness is the path to healing. Olivia puts the letter down, her face flushed with anger. Forgiveness, he's giving me advice on healing. After what he did, classic manipulation, I say quietly, making his redemption your responsibility. It's not about genuine remorse. It's about regaining control. There's more. She picks up the letter again. I've been following news about the foundation, the work you're doing to help families in crisis. It's admirable. I'd like to contribute in some way. Perhaps sharing my story could help others avoid the path I took. Would you consider visiting me? I have things I'd like to tell you in person. Things that might help with your work. Sincerely, Nathan. She puts the letter down with deliberate care. He hasn't changed at all, has he? No, this is about access, about inserting himself back into your life, into the foundation. What should I do? What do you want to do? She thinks for a moment, then stands and walks to the kitchen counter. Returns with a lighter. Without a word, she ignites the corner of the letter, watches as the flame consumes Nathan's words, his manipulations, his attempt to regain control. She drops the burning paper into the sink, lets it turn to ash. That's my answer. The next morning, I arrive at the foundation office early. A new case has come in overnight. Urgent. A woman in her 30s hospitalized after falling down the stairs. Her husband, a prominent cardiac surgeon, insisting on unusual treatment protocols, refusing second opinions. A nurse who noticed patterns raised concerns. I gather the team, financial investigators, legal counsel, medical experts. We move quickly, methodically, gathering evidence, building the case. The woman has 2 young children. We don't have much time. By afternoon, we have enough to approach hospital administration. Dr. Hammond accompanies me, lending her professional credibility to our concerns. The chief of staff reviews our evidence, calls. Security revokes the husband's medical privileges pending investigation. The children are placed with their maternal grandmother temporarily. Safe. As I drive home that evening, I think about how differently this story will end, because someone noticed the patterns, because evidence was gathered, because systems worked as they should. My phone rings. Hands-free display shows Janet's number. Richard, good news. The emergency protective order was granted for Mrs. Chen. Her husband is being held without bail pending investigation. The children, safe with grandmother. Child Services interviewed them today. The boy, 7 years old, disclosed witnessing previous assaults. His statement is being recorded as evidence. And Mrs. Chen, stable. Hospital security has been briefed. No visitors except approved family members. Good work, Janet. Keep me updated. I end the call, satisfaction warming my chest. Another family protected. Another predator stopped. The foundation doing exactly what we created it to do. At home, Olivia is in the kitchen, helping Emma with homework. Normalcy, the most precious gift after the chaos of the past year. How was your day? I asked, kissing the top of Emma's head. I got an A on my science project. Ms. Wilson said my presentation on the water cycle was the best in the class. That's wonderful, sweetheart. I'm so proud of you. Mom helped me practice. She did all the different voices for my puppet show. Olivia smiles. I'm especially proud of my rendition of Raindrop Randy. Very method. Later, after Emma is in bed, Olivia tells me she's been accepted to Berkeley Law School. Fall admission, the path forward taking shape. I've been thinking about Amber's request to meet, she says. I've decided to do it. Are you sure? Yes, but I want to meet on my terms. Not prison, neutral ground, and I want you there. Of course, whatever you need. The meeting is arranged for the following week. A private room at the foundation office. Janet present as legal counsel. Security protocols in place. Amber Bennett enters, escorted by her parole officer. No longer the glamorous mistress from the yacht photos. Thin, pale eyes downcast. Prison has stripped away the facade. "Thank you for agreeing to see me," she says, voice barely above a whisper. Olivia sits straight-backed, composed, strength in every line of her posture. "You wanted to apologize. I'm listening." Amber glances at me, then back to Olivia. "I know an apology isn't enough. Nothing could be enough for what I did, what I helped Nathan do." She twists her hands together. "I tell myself I didn't know he was going to hurt you, that I thought it was just talk. But that's a lie, I knew. Maybe not the details, but I knew." "Why did you do it?" Olivia asks, her voice steady. "I wish I had a good answer. Money partly, the lifestyle, but mostly," she hesitates, "mostly it was him. The way he made me feel special, chosen. He said his wife, you were emotionally abusive, that you controlled all the money, that you threatened to take his daughter away if he left." She looks up. "I believed him because I wanted to believe him." "Did you love him?" Olivia's question surprises me. "I thought I did. Now I'm not sure I even knew him. The real Nathan. The one who could calmly plan to kill his wife while taking me to dinner." Amber wipes away a tear. "In prison, I had a lot of time to think about who I became with him, how I ignored every red flag, every warning sign. I'm not asking for forgiveness, Mrs. Hayes. I just wanted you to know that I understand what I did, the harm I caused, and I'm sorry." Olivia is silent for a long moment. "Thank you for your honesty. I can't forgive you today. Maybe not ever, but I appreciate that you faced me directly." Amber nods. "There's something else, something you should know." She glances at her parole officer, who nods encouragement. "Nathan has been writing to me, from prison, asking me to contact Emma, to tell her stories about her father, the good times we had together." My hands clench into fists under the table. "I haven't responded," Amber continues, "and I won't, but I thought you should know. He's not done trying to control your family." Olivia's face remains composed, but I see the slight tremble in her fingers. "Thank you for telling me." After Amber leaves, Olivia sits in silence, processing. "You okay?" I ask finally. "I think so. It was clarifying somehow. Seeing her as a person, flawed, weak, selfish, but human." She looks at me. "We need to do something about Nathan's letters, about his attempts to reach Emma. I'll call the warden today, request a no-contact order, and I'll speak with Emma's school. Make sure they know not to release her to anyone but you or me. And I think it's time we told Emma more about what happened. Age appropriate, of course, but she needs to understand why her father is in prison, why she can't have contact with him. Are you sure she's ready?" "No, but I'm not sure there's ever a ready for this kind of conversation. And I'd rather she hear a gentle version from us than a harsh version from someone else." That weekend, we take Emma camping as promised. Lake Tahoe, a secluded spot away from crowds. Stars scattered across the night sky like diamonds. Emma's delight in simple pleasures, roasting marshmallows, telling ghost stories, counting, shooting stars, a reminder of childhood's resilience. On the second night after ghost stories, but before sleep, Olivia gathers Emma close. "Sweetheart, I want to talk to you about something important. About your dad." Emma's expression grows serious. "Is he getting out of prison?" "No, honey. He's going to be in prison for a very long time." Olivia chooses her words carefully. "Do you understand why he's there?" Emma considers this. "Because he did something bad, something illegal." "That's right, but it's important that you know what he did so you can understand why we can't see him or talk to him." Olivia takes a deep breath. "Your dad hurt me, Emma. He tried to make me have an accident in my car by damaging it. And later, when I was in the hospital, he tried to hurt me again." Emma's eyes widen. "He made your car crash on purpose." "Yes, he wanted the money from my insurance policy, and he had a girlfriend, someone who wasn't me." Emma processes this information, her young face solemn in the firelight. "Is that why you were asleep for so long? Because Dad hurt you?" "Yes, sweetheart. And that's why Grandpa was so worried, why he made Dad go away. Grandpa protected us. He found evidence that Dad had done these terrible things, and he made sure the police knew about it." Emma is quiet for a long time, staring into the fire. Finally, she asks, "Was it my fault?" Did Dad hurt you because of me? Olivia pulls her close, fierce. No, absolutely not. Nothing about this was your fault, Emma. Your dad made bad choices, selfish, terrible choices. That had nothing to do with you. You are perfect and loved and completely innocent in all of this. Emma nods against her mother's shoulder. I remember him being nice sometimes, reading me stories, taking me for ice cream. Was that real? I watch Olivia struggle with this question. The hardest one, how to explain the complexity of human behavior to a 6-year-old. It was real, Olivia says finally. People can do both good things and bad things. Your dad did some good things, especially with you. But the bad things he did were very serious. They hurt a lot of people. That's why he has to stay in prison. Will I ever see him again? Not for a very long time. And not until you're much older if you want to. That will be your decision when you're grown up. Emma thinks about this, her young face serious beyond her years. I don't think I want to see him. He hurt my mom. That's not what dads are supposed to do. No, it's not, I say quietly. Dads are supposed to protect their families, not harm them. Emma looks at me, her expression clearing. Like you protected us, Grandpa. That's what family does, sweetheart. We protect each other. The conversation shifts to lighter topics, tomorrow's hike. The possibility of seeing deer at dawn, whether bears really do steal picnic baskets like in cartoons. Emma's resilience, her ability to absorb difficult truths and still find joy, amazes me. Later, after Emma is asleep in the tent, Olivia and I sit by the dying fire. You did well, I tell her. That was a difficult conversation. It's just the beginning. There will be more questions as she gets older, as she understands more. You'll handle them just as gracefully. I hope so. She pokes at the embers with a stick. I've been thinking about changing our names, going back to Sullivan for both of us. Fresh start. That's a big step. Are you sure? I don't want to be Mrs. Hayes anymore. I don't want Emma to carry his name through school, through life. Have you discussed it with Emma? A little. She seems open to the idea, said she wants to have the same last name as me, whatever I choose. Well, Sullivan, girls, I say smiling, has a nice ring to it. The name change becomes official 3 weeks later. Olivia Sullivan, Emma Sullivan. A fresh beginning untethered from Nathan's legacy. That same week, Olivia receives a letter from the Law School Admissions Council. Perfect LSAT score. Scholarships offered from multiple schools. Berkeley at the top of the list. I can't believe it, she says, staring at the letter. After everything, my brain still works. Better than ever, I tell her. You're going to be an incredible attorney. The foundation continues to grow. More cases, more families helped, more predators stopped. The patterns Nathan used: financial control, gaslighting, isolation, medical manipulation repeated in case after case. But now we know what to look for, how to intervene, how to protect. 6 months later, I receive a phone call from San Quentin, the warden. Nathan has been attacked by another inmate, stabbed multiple times in the prison yard. Critical condition. I drive to Olivia's apartment. She and Emma moved out last month. Another step toward independence, and share the news carefully. They're not sure if he'll survive, I tell her. The next 24 hours are critical. She absorbs this information, her expression unreadable. Do they know who did it? Why, another inmate, no clear motive yet. But Nathan hasn't made many friends inside, apparently. His holier-than-thou redemption act hasn't played well with the general population. What do we do? Nothing unless you want to. You're still listed as his next of kin, but you have no legal obligation to make medical decisions or visit. She nods, thinking. If he dies, what will we tell Emma? The truth, that he was hurt in prison and didn't survive. And if he lives, that's up to you. She's quiet for a long moment. I need to see him, if he survives, one last time. Are you sure? Yes, I need to look him in the eye, show him that he failed, that we're thriving without him, that he has no power over us anymore. Nathan survives barely. Multiple surgeries, weeks in the prison infirmary. Olivia waits until he's stable, then requests a visit. I accompany her, though she insists on seeing him alone. I need to do this myself, Dad. Show him I'm not afraid anymore. I wait in the prison visiting area, watching the clock. 20 minutes. 30. Finally, Olivia emerges. calm, composed, stronger than I've ever seen her. How was it? I ask as we walk to the car. Clarifying, she says. He tried to manipulate me, of course. Talked about God's forgiveness, about second chances, about his right to see Emma. She smiles slightly. I let him talk, let him think he was getting through to me. Then I told him about law school, about the foundation, about how Emma and I changed our names, how she's thriving without him. How did he take that? Not well. Her smile widens. I told him I forgive him, not because he deserves it, but because carrying hate would give him power over me. And he has no power anymore. Not over me, not over Emma, never again. Pride swells in my chest, my daughter who survived the ultimate betrayal now standing fully in her power. Unbroken, undiminished. What did he say? Nothing. For once in his life, Nathan Hayes had nothing to say. 2 years pass. Olivia excels in law school, top of her class. Emma grows taller, more confident, a budding artist with her mother's determination and curiosity. The foundation expands, adding a medical advocacy program specifically focused on detecting and preventing medical abuse. I step back, gradually letting younger attorneys take the lead on cases. Mentoring rather than directing. Preparing for the day when Olivia will take over. Creating a legacy that will outlive me. Nathan serves his sentence quietly. No more letters, no more attempts to contact Emma. The final confrontation with Olivia seems to have broken something in him. The narcissistic belief that he could still control her, still manipulate her, shattered against the reality of her strength. Amber Bennett completes her parole successfully, moves to Oregon, changes her name, starts over, sends a donation to the foundation each year on the anniversary of Olivia's accident. A reminder. Atonement. Dr. Hammond continues to champion the neuroregeneration protocol that saved Olivia's life, publishes papers, speaks at conferences, uses Olivia's case anonymized but recognizable to those who know as evidence of what's possible with the right treatment, the right support, the right determination. One evening, I find Olivia in my study looking through old family photo albums, pictures of her mother gone 15 years now, of Olivia as a child, of Emma as a baby. I've been thinking about the future, she says as I join her, about what happens to the foundation when you retire. That's still a few years away, but it's coming, and I want to be ready. She closes the album. I've decided to specialize in family law with a focus on medical law as well. Combine the two areas where Nathan did the most damage. Turn his weapons against others like him. You'll be formidable. I learned from the best. She smiles. I've been offered a clerkship with Judge Martinez after graduation, then hopefully the DA's office to get trial experience, then private practice with time dedicated to foundation cases. You've got it all planned out. I've learned the value of preparation, of evidence, of building a case methodically. She looks at me, her expression serious. I've also learned the value of family, of love, of trust. You taught me that, Dad. When everything else was falling apart, you were my constant. That's what fathers do. Not all fathers, she says softly, thinking of Nathan, of Emma, of the broken trust that can never be fully repaired. No, not all. I reach for her hand. But you've broken the cycle, Olivia. You're giving Emma something Nathan tried to take from both of you. Safety, security, love without conditions or manipulations. We both are. She squeezes my hand. The Sullivan family legacy. Justice, protection, healing. 3 months later, I'm sitting in the audience at Berkeley Law School's moot court competition, Olivia representing the plaintiff in a complex medical malpractice case. Her argument, methodical, persuasive. Evidence presented clearly, compellingly. The judges, actual appellate court justices volunteering their time, lean forward engaged. When the verdict comes in, Olivia's team wins unanimously. Best Oral Advocate Award goes to Olivia Sullivan 1L, the beginning of a brilliant career. At the reception afterward, Judge Rebecca Martinez approaches me, champagne flute in hand. Your daughter is exceptional, Richard. Reminds me of another Sullivan I used to know. Same attention to detail. Same unwavering focus on justice. She surpassed me already, I say, watching Olivia across the room, accepting congratulations from classmates and professors. and she's just getting started. The foundation is lucky to have her, as is Emma. We all are. Later that night, after celebrations and congratulations, after Emma is tucked into bed with stories of her mother's courtroom triumph, Olivia and I sit on her apartment balcony, the same conversation spot we've shared through recovery, healing, growth. Different locations, same connection. I've been offered a summer internship, she says, with the Innocence Project, working on cases of wrongful conviction. That's prestigious, competitive. Very. I'd be the only first-year student selected. She sips her tea. But I'm not sure if I should take it. Why not? It means 10 weeks in New York, away from Emma, from you, from everything we've built. Emma would miss you terribly, so would I, but we'd manage. I study her face in the dim light. Is that the only reason you're hesitating? She's quiet for a moment. I'm scared, Dad. Not of New York or the work, but of leaving Emma. What if something happens while I'm gone? The fear, the lingering trauma, the voice that whispers if you look away even for a moment, disaster will strike. Nathan is in prison. He can't hurt either of you anymore. I know that, intellectually, but there's still this feeling, this dread, like I can't protect her if I'm not here. That's normal after what you've been through. But Emma has an entire support system now. Me, Janet, your friends, her school. She's surrounded by people who love her, who watch over her. I know, she sighs. It's just hard to let go of the fear, to trust that life can be normal again. Take the internship, Olivia. Show Emma that it's okay to pursue your dreams, to take risks, that the world isn't just a place of danger but of opportunity. She considers this, then nods slowly. You're right, and you'll call me every day. Send photos, let me video chat with her at bedtime. Absolutely. Whatever you need to feel connected, secure. The summer internship becomes a turning point. Olivia thriving in the high-pressure environment of the Innocence Project. Emma enjoying special grandpa camp activities, baseball games, science museum visits, camping trips. Both of them growing, stretching their wings, finding independence within the safety of family. When Olivia returns, she's changed, more confident, more certain of her path. Her fear diminished, replaced by determination, by purpose. I want to expand the foundation, she tells me one evening. Add a wrongful conviction division. Focus on cases where medical testimony was misused or misunderstood, where doctors abused their authority to convict innocent people. That's a significant undertaking. I know, but I've seen how it works, Dad. How a respected doctor's testimony can override facts, evidence, truth. How many people might be in prison right now because someone like Nathan, educated, articulate, convincing, lied on the stand? I think about this, about the patterns we've seen in the foundation cases, about how Nathan nearly succeeded in his plan because of his position, his credentials, his persuasive ability. You're right, it's a natural extension of our work. I smile at her. Your work increasingly. Our work, she corrects. I couldn't do any of this without you, without what you taught me. The Foundation's Wrongful Conviction Division launches 6 months later, funded by a grant from a national legal advocacy organization, staffed by law students, retired attorneys, medical experts willing to donate their time. Olivia at the center, her vision driving everything. Their first case, a woman convicted of poisoning her husband based on testimony from a toxicologist, later found to have falsified credentials. 15 years in prison already. The evidence flimsy, circumstantial. The real culprit, likely the husband's business partner who inherited controlling interest in their company after his death. Olivia works tirelessly, reviewing trial transcripts, interviewing witnesses, consulting with legitimate toxicologists, building the case for innocence piece by methodical piece. 6 months of work, countless hours, setbacks and breakthroughs. Finally, a hearing before the appellate court. Olivia in the gallery watching as the attorneys she's trained present the evidence she's gathered. The conviction is vacated. A woman walks free after 15 years. Olivia's first save, not her last. As the woman embraces her now adult children in the courtroom, Olivia sits quietly, tears streaming down her face. I sit beside her, witnessing her transformation from victim to advocate, from survivor to savior. This is just the beginning, she whispers. Think of how many others are out there, waiting for someone to believe them, to fight for them. You can't save everyone, Olivia. I know, but we can save some and teach others to do the same. That night, we celebrated home. A family dinner. Emma now ate, curious about the case, about the woman set free, about the concept of justice itself. But how do you know if someone is really innocent? She asks, wise beyond her years. Evidence, Olivia explains. Facts, looking beyond what people say to what can be proven. Like Grandpa did with Dad. Exactly like that. Olivia glances at me, grateful. Grandpa taught me to look for evidence, to trust facts over feelings. That's what we do at the foundation. We help people find the truth. Later, after Emma's asleep, Olivia shows me the letter she received that morning from Nathan. His first direct communication in over 2 years. I heard about your work with the Innocence Project, he writes. The irony isn't lost on me, you fighting to free the wrongfully imprisoned, while I wrongfully imprisoned remain here. Wrongfully imprisoned, I echoed, disgusted. Still playing the victim. Still manipulating, Olivia agrees. Still trying to create doubt, to rewrite history. What will you do? She takes the letter and tears it in half, then quarters, then eighths, drops the pieces into the recycling bin. Nothing, he doesn't exist for me anymore except as a lesson, a reminder of why our work matters. 3 years pass. Olivia graduates law school with honors, completes her clerkship with Judge Martinez, joins the district attorney's office as a prosecutor specializing in financial crimes and medical fraud, continues her work with the foundation in her spare time. Emma grows into a confident 11-year-old. Artistic, compassionate, perceptive. No contact with Nathan. No desire for it. Her family, mother, grandfather, extended circle of foundation aunts and uncles providing all the love and security she needs. I scale back my involvement with the foundation gradually. Still consulting on complex cases, mentoring young attorneys, but no longer managing day-to-day operations. Preparing for full retirement. For the next chapter. One evening, as Olivia and I review a new foundation case, she mentions casually that Nathan has been denied parole. His first hearing unsuccessful. How did you find out? Victim notification system. They're required to inform me of any change in his status. She shrugs. It doesn't matter. I knew he wouldn't get parole on the first try. Not with his record, his lack of genuine remorse. Does it bother you knowing he'll be eligible again in 5 years? No, by then Emma will be 16, old enough to understand fully what happened, to make her own informed decisions about contact if she wants it. She looks at me, and I'll have been practicing law for 8 years, a established prosecutor, maybe even running for judge. Judge Sullivan has a nice ring to it. It does, doesn't it? She smiles. Family tradition. As retirement approaches, I find myself reflecting on the journey. On the night I discovered Nathan's betrayal. On the evidence gathered, the case built, the justice served. On the healing that followed, imperfect, but real. On the foundation growing beyond anything I imagined. On Olivia rising from the ashes of trauma to become a force for justice. On Emma thriving despite, or perhaps because of the challenges she's faced. On family. On love. On the power of truth to overcome even the most sophisticated lies. 5 years after Nathan's first unsuccessful parole hearing, he comes up for review again. Denied again. His prison record now shows multiple disciplinary actions. Conflicts with other inmates. Arrogance with staff. The facade of redemption crumbling under the reality of his character. Olivia, now a senior prosecutor with multiple high-profile convictions to her credit, receives the notification with indifference. He's irrelevant, she tells me. A cautionary tale, nothing more. Emma, now 16, asks questions occasionally. About Nathan, about the accident, about the trial. Seeking to understand her own history. Olivia answers honestly, age-appropriately. The foundation of trust between them, unshakable. I retire officially on my 70th birthday. A celebration at the foundation offices. Speeches, testimonials, a scholarship established in my name for law students focusing on family protection and advocacy. Olivia, now the executive director, presenting me with a plaque. Richard Sullivan, founder, protector, justice seeker. In my brief remarks, I talk about patterns, about evidence, about the importance of believing victims but verifying claims, about how systems can fail the vulnerable but also how they can work when people of integrity insist on truth. I don't mention Nathan by name. No need. His legacy is not what matters. What matters is what grew from the ruins of his betrayal. The foundation, Olivia's career, Emma's resilience. The family saved the predators, stopped the innocent freed. What matters is what endures. Justice, truth, family, love. After the celebration, Olivia, Emma, and I have dinner at my house. Just the three of us. 3 generations of Sullivans, survivors, thrivers. I have something to tell you both, Olivia says as we finish dessert. I've been asked to run for Superior Court judge next year. Judge Martinez is retiring, and she's endorsed me as her replacement. Mom, that's amazing, Emma exclaims. You'll be Judge Sullivan just like Grandpa. If I win, Olivia cautions, it's not a given. You'll win, I tell her. You have everything it takes: experience, integrity, compassion, determination. And the best campaign manager in the business, Emma adds. Me, I'm already thinking of slogans. Sullivan for Superior Court Justice runs in the family. We laugh, plan, dream. A new chapter beginning as another closes. The future bright with possibility. Later, after Emma has gone to bed, Olivia and I sit on the porch, our traditional spot for serious conversations. Are you ready for this? I ask. The campaign will be grueling. Your personal life will be scrutinized. Nathan's case will be dragged up again. I'm ready. She looks out at the night sky confident. Let them look at my personal life. Let them examine Nathan's case. It's all documented, evidence-based, truth. Your mother would be so proud of you, I tell her. I know I am. I couldn't have done any of this without you, Dad, without what you taught me about justice, about family, about perseverance. You did the hard part. You survived. You healed. You transformed trauma into purpose. She takes my hand, the gesture reminiscent of countless bedside holds during her hospitalization, during her recovery, during our journey back to life. We did it together. That's what family does. As we sit in comfortable silence, I think about the long arc of this story. How it began with betrayal, nearly ended in tragedy, but transformed into triumph. How Nathan's calculated cruelty led not to destruction, but to the creation of something powerful, enduring good. I think about patterns, evidence, truth, justice, the tools of my profession that saved my daughter's life, that now in her hands save others. I think about vulnerability and strength, how what Nathan saw as weakness in Olivia, her trust, her love, her openness, became her greatest strength in recovery. How what he thought would destroy her instead forged her into something unbreakable. Some people think vulnerability equals weakness. I say softly, echoing words I've spoken before. They forget that protecting family is the strongest force in the world. Olivia smiles, squeezes my hand. And some people think they can manipulate the truth forever. They forget that evidence always tells the real story, eventually. We sit together, father and daughter, survivors, protectors, justice seekers. The night wraps around us like a protective embrace. Stars scattered across the sky, bright points of light in the darkness, much like the truth itself. Always there waiting to be seen by those with eyes to see. The foundation continues its work. Olivia campaigns for judge. Emma applies to colleges, considering law school in her future. The Sullivan legacy of justice extending forward into generations yet to come. And in a prison cell, Nathan Hayes serves his sentence. Alone. Forgotten. His schemes unraveled, his manipulations exposed, his power broken. Just another cautionary tale in the Foundation's training materials. Evidence of what happens when truth prevails over even the most sophisticated lies. Justice served, family protected, healing achieved. The true power of evidence, of documentation, of methodical pursuit of truth, demonstrated in the lives we rebuilt from the ashes of betrayal. That's what 30 years of family court taught me. That's what I passed on to Olivia. That's what she now shares with the world. Documentation wins, truth prevails, love endures, the Sullivan family legacy. Our gift to each other, our gift to those who need protection, advocacy, justice. Our answer to those who would use power to harm rather than heal. Our victory.